same. A translation is another way of sliding a figure across a particular surface. One example here, we have a musical note that's just been slid to the right side. In this second example here, you have 3 different statues that can resemble being slid um, in this particular garden. But then you also have this mathematical example that usually is seen in the classroom. The black image may have been slid down a few units and then to the right, or the other way around, with the orange figure being slid up and to the left. But the formal definition of a translation is the action of moving a figure along a line for a given distance. The second type of rigid transformation is a reflection. Most people tend to quickly grasp this particular transformation. It is also known as a flip or a mirror image. As you can see, when you look at this particular monument, it's a complete mirror image against the water. Same thing with the strawberry. When you look at the mathematical example that usually is seen in the classroom, this line of symmetry here is dividing the two images. You have your pre-image, the original image, being flipped over this line of symmetry, which is typically the y-axis, creating the new image. The third rigid transformation is called a rotation. It's where you're turning a figure around a fixed point, usually in 8th grade, that is our origin, as a wheel turns on its axis. You can refer to an actual car wheel. You can refer to a Ferris wheel at an amusement park. An example here, we have the smiley face going from one end to the next end. If you look at remember a clock, it's like the dial going from noon to about 3 o'clock. That 90-degree rotation or that 90-degree angle, that's an example of a rotation. And so you have been provided with not only your definition, you've been provided with mathematical representations, you've been provided with real world representations as well. As for our definition of rotation, I'm going to go down here and I'm looking for the definition of rotation. Remember, rotation is where it's rotating or turning and is not matching with the color. But if I look at this particular definition, it says a transformation that rotates a figure around a given point. This is the definition I'm looking for. So I'm going to pick this one up and I'm going to slide it and drop it there. I'm going to find now the definition for reflection. Reflection is where it's flipping over a particular line of symmetry, which happens to be this particular definition here. So I'm going to pick this one up and slide it, drop it here, which means this last one down here should be the definition of a translation. You're sliding it across a straight line. I'm going to drop it here. The last part, we are matching the pictures with each of these particular definitions and rigid transformations. So these 2 purple triangles are examples of rotations. And so I'm going to drop that into that first category. The next one, these irregular shapes, are our reflections. And these last 2 are our examples of translation. And so this is an example of our drag and drop application. Pretty basic, where you are identifying your definition with your rigid transformation and picture. We've